Based on a true story. A sheltered girl was yearning to know more about the world away from home. What she didn't know was that the world was cold and evil. Taken advantage of, she too eventually became cold, evil, and very angry. She gave her virginity to a so called friend at the age of 12. He was 13. That she regretted for the rest of her life. She felt used by him since they didn't have a relationship. He actually had absolutely no interest in her beyond that. He later engaged in a relationship with another one of her family members, which was very heartbreaking to her. He used, physically and mentally abused, and cheated on her, and then impregnated the family member. She ended up having his daughter. He died before the child was born. He was actually unalived by another human being. She felt bad for her relative and the child, and even the guy. But moving on, she looked for love in all the wrong places, seeking love in boys, then men. Anyway, shortly after the loss of her virginity, she had intercourse with a fellow church member that she had a crush on. He too had absolutely no interest in her beyond that. At this time, she was 13 years old and became pregnant by this gentleman. The boy denied even ever sleeping with her so that he wouldn't get in trouble by his parents. He ignored her, used her for sex, and it literally only took one time. She became pregnant. Her mother cold heartedly forced her to abort the baby and told her not to tell a single soul. She said, "Do not tell anyone, or you'll be in big trouble." She complied even though she almost lost her life during the procedure. What's a 13-year-old to do? Yet still, she never got educated about the high risks that she's been taking. No talks about contraceptive in any type of way. Not even the bare minimum. No talks about rubbers or anything to do with being safe. A couple years went by, now getting into actual boyfriends who liked her. She actually thought having a boyfriend completed her. Here's this one guy she thought loved her. He cheated on her and even gave her an STD. And that was her boyfriend. So what does having a boyfriend mean? She was so hurt. I mean, very, very, very emotionally damaged. She was blessed and happy that the STI was treatable. And she felt really, really lucky that she had gotten past that. Vowed never to have sex while unmarried ever again. She broke up with that guy. And then a couple years later got another boyfriend. Slept with him, and for some reason she got another STD. Some would say, wow, she didn't learn a lesson. No, I don't think she did at that point. But again, thankfully, that one was treatable. Still not using protection and allowing herself to be used. Not understanding why people took advantage of her every time she trusted someone. She ended up hating herself. She wanted to be unalived. Even though she didn't have suicidal thoughts, she didn't want to be here. She just wished that she had never been born. She literally just didn't want to be here. That girl often wondered what she was doing wrong, why nobody loved her, including her parents. She felt like her siblings also didn't love her. But nobody talked to her about love, boys, the birds, the bees, and nothing of that sort. Anyway, periodically, she still wished that she was hit by a car, shot in the dome, or even passed away in her sleep. But that didn't happen. By age 16, she started being very angry with God that she had been born into this evil world. That sadness made her life even worse. She somehow continued to get A's and B's in school. At first, anyway. She was just a heartbroken girl. Boyfriend after boyfriend used her, got her pregnant, and gave her STDs, all which were curable. She had miscarriages, abortions, and depression. Even started using soft drugs for fun at first to numb the pain. And then eventually got into opioids for a time. What a sad girl. Later, she realized the pain was still there even after the high came down, so what was the point? She pretty much gave up on the opiates. She gave up on the green and whatever else she had tried. She had a deep love for green and did that for many years. She even started using alcohol. Sometimes she got so drunk that she passed out. During a state of passing out and unconsciousness, even though alive, she was raped 3 times while unconscious after being drunk, trusting being around the wrong people. High and passed out. That was her life for a few years. Wrong crowd. She learned that people would take advantage of you when you're vulnerable, and that made her more depressed than ever. After living that way for a time, she simply got tired of it. She eventually got back on the right track in school, continued her education. However, she was still sick of feeling unloved and unhappy. Her grades did not make her complete. Nothing seemed to make her happy. One day she met a very nice lady while hanging out who told her that her life was worth more. And actually, being fed up with the life that she had lived, she decided to start loving herself. That lady actually had the talk with her about the birds, the bees, love, heartbreak, and she felt a lot better. She felt hopeful after that conversation. Even started believing in God and stopped being mad at Him. She actually started praying to God in Jesus Christ's name, and she learned that He loved her. After studying the Bible, she actually got an eye opener that God actually loved her, and the things that she had been through would lead her to helping someone else one day. No matter what she had done, she learned that He loved her unconditionally and that Jesus died for her sins. So she was able to become happier with knowing that. She eventually learned that she was worth more than what she initially thought. She studied the Bible and understood that she was a child of the real king. No princess looked for love in all the wrong places, is what she told herself. A princess is looked after, cared for, and loved, not understanding that she was already being loved by her Father in heaven. After understanding that, she opened her heart and mind and she received what was hers. Mentally, she started living like a princess. She was blessed, some would say lucky. Of course, she got rid of all of the STDs and didn't get anything that would last forever. She no longer slept around. She didn't party anymore, smoke cigarettes, or do any drinking or smoking in any type of way, any type of pills. She stopped everything. She now lives a clean, sober, happy, virgin like life while sharing her story with teenagers who are going through what she similarly went through. She wouldn't wish any of her past poor decision making on anyone and feels like everybody deserves love, respect, and to be cherished. She has vowed to never sleep around before being married, and actually has lived up to that vow, and happily looks to God for love. She has found her self-worth, self-love, and gained respect for herself. Is now living happily in her 20s, and one day she hopes to be married and start a family. Remember, ladies, you are worth the wait. Get a ring before you share that thing. Educate yourself. If you are a parent, please listen to this. Protect your children. Give them hugs and kisses daily. Tell them that you love them and talk to them about the birds and the bees. Educate your children and love them. Love them with all of your being. This story is true. It's based on a true story. If you have a story that you would like me to share, please send it to my email, just like this person did. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.